Hi everyone, Jason Adcock here from Adcock Prestige, and we're going live on our Instagram feed at the moment, and we're going to be answering today a number of questions that have been sent into us over the last 4 or 5 days relating to the prestige property market in Brisbane. I've got Holly asking me the question. So Holly, what's the first question that's come in over the last few days?
Why do you think auctions are the best strategy in the current market?
That's a really good question, Holly. Auctions at the moment are creating an absolute sense of urgency in the market where people are focused on a date that the property is going to be sold. And what we're finding at the moment is the buyers in the marketplace are really responding well to the properties that are being taken to auction compared to the properties that are being sold by private treaty, where they may have a price on it or they may be by negotiation. It gets the buyers focused in on that date. And look, they've got 3 opportunities to buy the property. They can actually buy it prior to auction, and we're still probably selling around about 20 to 30% of our auctions prior to auction. There's also an opportunity for them to buy it under the hammer at auction, and we're selling quite a few under the hammer as well at auction at the moment. But it also gives them an opportunity, if it does get passed in at auction, they can buy it afterwards. And there's been a number of properties that we've sold recently where it was passed in at auction, and then it either sold within the next 24 to 48 hours, or it sold within around about 14 days after that auction. So really at the moment, auctions, I'm finding that auctions are great for both the buyers, the sellers, and the agents. At the moment, it's very transparent in the marketplace. The buyers can see where the market's prepared to pay for these particular properties. And the same thing with the sellers. The sellers can see very, very quickly where buyers see value in their property. And look, the days on market for the properties that are being taken to auction at the moment are roughly around about 36 to 38 days. Whereas properties that have been taken to the market by private treaty, they have really blown out. Some of those are sort of 90 to 100 days. So what's the next question, Holly?
What's a property you've sold several times over?
Well, there's a property that's behind me at the moment, which is this spectacular aerial view taken above 17 Julius Street at New Farm. And interesting fact, I actually sold this property back in 2004 for $4.25 million. Actually set a suburb record back in 2004 for New Farm. I then sold it back in 2007, and we got $6 million, which was nearly a couple of $1 million more just in a very short period of time. I'm actually marketing it now for the 3rd time. We're running an expressions of interest campaign. We're doing a very comprehensive campaign through all social media channels, including Instagram, Facebook, Google display ads. We're targeting interstate buyers and expats. We're also targeting the local market. Plus, we've got a very strong print marketing campaign at the moment happening through the Courier Mail and also the Australian Fin Review with their Domain Prestige lift out. That expressions of interest on this one now closes on the 11th of November, and we've got a lot of interest in that. That's going to be a great result, that particular property. And when we sell it in the next little while, it'll be the 3rd time that I've sold this property. What's the next question, Holly?
What is Brisbane's best up-and-coming suburb?
Best up-and-coming suburb. That's a really profound question, Holly. And what they probably mean by up-and-coming suburb is that it's probably what we call a ripple suburb that sort of borders these traditional blue chip suburbs. And what tends to happen is when these other blue chip suburbs are really powering on, what happens is the buyers tend to look at the suburbs that are just a few more minutes out from these blue chip suburbs. Now, look, I've got to say at the moment, probably the most up and coming suburb that I'm seeing in the marketplace at the moment is on the north side, and it's Northgate. And what people are loving about Northgate at the moment is it's not that far away from the traditional blue chip suburbs like Ascot, Hamilton, Clayfield and Hendra. And we've actually seen people selling out of those blue chip suburbs and moving a few minutes down the road to Northgate and getting incredible value for money. I know a few of my clients at the moment that have invested heavily in Northgate just in the last couple of months, and they've been buying these homes, they've been renovating and then selling them and making quite a large profit. So that is the up and coming suburb I'm tipping at the moment to have some very strong growth over the next 2 to 3 years. What's the next question, Holly?
When's the best time to sell my house?
Look, when's the best time to sell your house? Look, at the end of the day, it really does get down to your personal situation. We're all selling these properties for a different reason. There's a lot of downsizing going on at the moment where the kids have left home and the parents are rattling around in the family home that they've lived in for the last sort of 15 or 20 years. You've got people that are sort of moving interstate. Look, really at the end of the day, it really comes down to your own personal situation. But what I will tell you is from now until Christmas is probably the most heated that it gets in the marketplace, because you've got a lot of people wanting to make decisions about what's going to be happening in the new year. You're getting a lot of these Sydney, Melbourne buyers coming to Brisbane at the moment and wanting to source a property. So when they do move the family up in early January, they do have their family home and they're ready for the kids to go to school. So probably at the moment, I'd say between now and Christmas is probably as hot as it probably gets. What's the next question, Holly?
With the market changing, is it a good time to upsize?
Look, at the moment, there are a number of opportunities that are out there in the marketplace that are being presented by people that are downsizing in the marketplace. So I'd say probably around about 70% of the prestige properties that I'm selling at the moment are people that are downsizing. They're empty nesters, their kids have left home and they're deciding to move on to that next stage in their life. A lot of them are moving to apartments. And what that is doing is it's presenting a lot of opportunities to the marketplace at the moment with these lovely big family homes scattered through all these blue chip areas throughout Brisbane. We've got acreage, we've got these grand riverfront estates, we've got a lot of lovely properties coming on in that Ascot, Hamilton, Clayfield, and also New Farm as well. So over the next few weeks, some of the best properties that we've seen brought to the marketplace in the last decade are hitting the market. And the opportunities are being presented by these people that are downsizing in the marketplace. What's the next one, Holly?
Are you still getting interstate and overseas inquiry?
Yes, we certainly are. And I'd have to say the percentage of interstate, overseas and expats coming back from overseas at the moment is probably making up around about 20 to 25% of our buyer pool at the moment. They've been living overseas for quite some time, these expats. They've usually promised the family the trophy home when they come back, and they're very active in the marketplace at the moment, particularly at the moment. But we are also seeing a lot of people still relocating from both Melbourne and Sydney. It's a lifestyle change. What COVID's made people realise is some of these top executives can basically work almost anywhere in Australia remotely, and then if they need to fly to Sydney and Melbourne and spend a couple of days down there every 14 days, they can base themselves in either Brisbane or the Gold Coast or Noosa. So yes, that section of the marketplace at the moment is still very, very active. But I've got to tell you, the local market at the moment, the local buyers, they're still making up the ground share of the buyer pool. They're still running at around about sort of 75 to 80%. And they're just being made to pay probably a little bit more than they wanted to with the competition from these people coming back from overseas and also the interstate buyers. What's the next question, Holly?
What are the best things to do to present your home for sale?
That's a very, very good question. And here at Adcock Prestige, that's something that we really love to help our clients with. We've really become a full one-stop shop for getting properties ready for sale. It involves a number of things. Presentation's everything. You've got one chance of making a first impression, and you've really got to make sure when you do bring these properties to the marketplace, they're in a presentable way. We are affiliated with a company called Titan 360. They are a specialist company that organise the pre-sale renovations of these properties. The beautiful thing about Titan 360 is they have all trades. Eric, who runs this local business, has about 52 people on staff, and they have everyone. They've got painters, they've got electricians, they've got people that can do the gardens, they've got cleaners, they've got cabinet makers. So basically, what we tend to do when we go out to one of these properties is we get Eric to come out with us. He looks at the property. We work out what needs to be done to the property. He organises a quote generally within around about 24 to 48 hours. The seller approves the quote. We organise the pre-sale work to be done, and that's generally completed in sort of anywhere between 14 to 21 days. They give our clients absolute priority service, whereas some of these other tradespeople at the moment, if you're trying to get them all to work together, it could mean you're not getting on the market for about another 6 to 12 months. Whereas with us, we organise Titan 360. You can be on the market within the next 14 to 21 days. Now, look, what they're generally doing is sometimes we're painting, we're carpeting. One of the most important things is also the cleaning of the property, particularly the external cleaning. We organise external hard cleaning of all the house, the hard surfaces, the driveway around the pool. We also make sure that we do a fantastic professional clean of the windows. And what we also do is we do a full extensive bond clean with inside the house. Look, once we've done all of that, we utilise the services of Queensland's probably best styling company. It's a company called Brisbane Makeover Company, and we've been utilising them for the last 8 years. It's run by a gentleman by the name of David Manchiamelli, and I've got to tell you, when it comes to styling a property that's inviting and makes an emotional connection with the buyers, Brisbane Makeover Company is by far the best company that I've ever used, and I've used all of them. What we tend to do is we can do two different types of things. We can take all of the client's furniture out and then completely style it, and they can quote you on that. Or what we can do is a partial style, where what they do is they remove certain bits and pieces and they supplement it with other furniture and artwork to make sure that the property looks absolutely fantastic. I'd say probably 95% of the properties that we're currently selling at the moment are professionally styled with the Brisbane Makeover Company. And it just makes the photos pop, it makes the videos look fantastic. And obviously it's attracting a lot more buyers when you're going through that process of getting your property ready for sale and then styling it in such a way that it creates an emotional connection with the buyers. So that's what I'd recommend. I'd recommend that you make sure that you get it ready for sale, utilise the services of a company like Titan 360 that we've got available here at Adcock Prestige, and then have it professionally styled. It just means you're going to present it in its best light to the market, and therefore get the best price in the marketplace and sell it as quickly as you possibly can. What's the next one, Holly?
In what scenario would you recommend engaging a buyer's agent?
Look, buyer's agents have really become prevalent in the Brisbane prestige market over the last 2 to 3 years. And look, there's a company that we are working with consistently almost every week, and it's a company called Cohen Handler. They're obviously based out of Sydney, but they've got their Queensland branch up here. That's headed up by a gentleman by the name of Jordan Navy Box, and he probably completes most of the prestige sales that buyers agents do in that marketplace. Look, what I would suggest, if you're looking for something very, very specific and something unique that's not on the market, I would get in contact with Jordan Navy Box from Cohen Handler. He will do the groundwork. He's got the connections out there in the marketplace, and he will be able to source a property that you normally wouldn't be able to source yourself through normal channels. Look, it's also very, very good for professionals and specialist doctors that really are time poor, and they don't have a lot of time to allocate towards searching for that special home. Whereas, someone like Jordan, he'll take up the slack, he'll listen to the criteria that you're after, and he'll source that perfect home. So I believe it's an absolute asset for those types of people that are looking for something special or are time poor. Well, thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into our live Q&A. I look forward to seeing you out in the marketplace on Saturday. Adios.